Hey, everybody.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello, world.
How is it going?
How is everyone? Hello.
What she say? Hello, Outlander.
Hello,
I'm
Outlander.
sorry, not Outlander. I meant to say colonizer.
If you have an
Hello,
iPhone,
colonizer.
Colonizer.
I just
Colonizer.
hey, I just saying, like, if you have an iPhone, you can watch this video on your TV. You can you can cast it.
Yeah.
It's giving me the option to do it now. Oh my god, it's neat. I should bring my TV in here and do it.
Not on the 55 inch.
Boot.
Not the 55 inch.
It's
The
the
55
55.
inch.
The 55.
Oh,
The 55.
oh,
I don't even want to
oh.
know. So let it do its thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why?
Hello.
I done turned it down like five. Let me get it out.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm sorry, y'all. We in our own zone today, and we
Yeah.
just have the,
No
all,
shade.
like
I'm sorry.
everybody's in their own zone today. I don't know what the fuck going
Okay,
on.
we are.
But
Oh, listen,
we
I'm
need,
ready.
Oh,
I'm ready to talk
we
about it.
need to get it
oh,
together.
I am so sorry.
Listen.
Okay.
For a
So
second.
this week we had our world's AIDS day lunching. Of course we had to do it a little different this time due to COVID. So we decided to do a virtual video. The virtual video is still on and it's still on and able for you to watch. You can go to our website directly and click on it. It is um labeled World AIDS Day. And I have a little small clip on how we, as an organization, and even us as outreach, had to change due to COVID. And some of our day-to-day tasks, how it changed, and how we was able to still provide services to the community while COVID is running rapid. So here
I
we
feel like
go.
I'm being set up.
No, I don't know.
There was so much fear and misinformation in the early days of the AIDS epidemic. There was a real fear of contagion, and we had to overcome that. And so we see that once again with the emergence of COVID-19.
The immediate needs when COVID-19 hit were an increased need for food. Many of our clients are still rebounding from the effects of March and still dealing with electricity and utility issues.
Early April is when we kind of realized that we were going to have to sit down and really discuss how we deliver services.
And we spent a lot of time working with staff, developing the protocols, the safety measures that would keep everyone free of COVID.
Our communication pretty much bulked up, where I may have to talk to a client once every 3 weeks. I'm not talking to them every week. Somebody's needs can change very fast.
I mostly work with the Latinx community. Pre-COVID, their main needs were medication, access to medical care, bilingual services, so I'll go with them to their medical appointments. Just calling them on a daily basis just to check in with them to see how they're doing. A lot of them lost their job, didn't really know what to do when it came to the utility bills, food. Many of them got tested positive for COVID. They didn't know how to access care. They thought that because they were undocumented, they couldn't access, medical care or get tested. I was able to provide financial services to them for their food, electricity, water.
We saw an increase in mental health issues. Many persons that didn't suffer from anxiety and depression pre-COVID now had an increased level of anxiety. They were depressed more. Our therapists have had many more clients, but they've also had a greater rate of success with mental health appointments.
We went to telehealth for our mental health counselors. We went to Zoom meetings. We went to telephone service and text, food delivery. We even set up a drive-in food bank in our parking lot.
When COVID hit, we did have to find ways to kind of figure out how we're going to do this, how we're going to continue to do outreach. We put our minds together and decided to come up with this thing called Keeping It 100. Keeping It 100 allowed us to have raw, real conversations authentically with each other online in front of everybody.
The group was just as excited seeing one another on Zoom as they were seeing one another in person.
I think without rain, people would lose that sense of having a compassionate place.
If they were not linked to us, they would not be engaged in care. RAIN está acá para ayudar a la comunidad latina y para darle los servicios que necesitan a las personas que han sido diagnosticadas con HIV. Y no importa si ellos son indocumentados o no, los servicios están disponibles para todos.
Yes.
So,
Pull up with the drive-up testing.
That was so lit. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful.
Oh my God, my forehead made a debut. I love it.
Let me find out my board made debut.
So that was just a little taste of something that you can still go out and look at and see. We're also accepting donations on that website and on our website as well. You can click a link on our page and to donate. And any little bit helps. So please go out and look at that. You can also, again, still donate. I also wanted to take the time out to announce that our CEO is retiring, and she announced her retirement last week. And we are very sad to see her go. However, she have announced her successor. Her successor would be Chelsea Golden, who now acts as our Vice President of Operations. So she would now be moving into that CEO role, and that was announced also on that video on Tuesday. So feel free to go back and kind of watch that and catch yourself up. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and actually get started. We're keeping it 100. And I think it's time for Listen Up with Sean.
Tell me what's going on, though.
Oh my goodness. So y'all already know I got a couple chats for y'all. So you know what I'm saying? First of all, it's been a really crazy weekend. I'm quite sure you guys had a lot of, stuff going on since Thanksgiving and all that good food. And you're probably trying to figure out your weight and all that good stuff. But in the meantime, just to make y'all laugh, I don't know if y'all have seen this whole controversy or this whole argument between Saucy Santana and Roland Ray. For those who do not know who Saucy Santana is, Saucy Santana is a rapper from, I think he's from, I don't know if he's from Miami. He's from Miami. He's friends with JT from City Girls. JT and Young Miami. He's friends with both of them, but he usually has videos with Young Miami. And him going back and forth. And Roland Ray was on some judging show where him and the roommate they got into it about some things.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
can't hear none of y'all. I'll be back.
Go ahead.
Okay. So Roland Ray's from some judging show. And him and the roommate were arguing some stuff. Roland Ray got famous off some raps and stuff too that he had made and created too on the internet. But right now they're beefing and they're having this whole big thing going on over the internet to the point where Saucy Santana has made a whole song called "Let Me See You Walk"
on National Disability Day.
A whole song.
Oh, I actually just got it.
What? I don't like that because there's so many ways he could attack Roland Ray, but he had to go for his disability. So that just shows the type of person he is. You could go for somebody without talking about the disability.
But this is my thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I respect anyone that's disabled. I have a disabled person in my family. I totally get that.
Don't ever say that again.
What?
I have a disabled person in my family. As your respective, because sometimes it sounds like
it's ableist.
It's right. It sounds like I
worded it wrong.
I respect gay people. Look. I respect gay people. My best friend gay. My brother gay.
Yeah,
that's exactly how you sound.
Oh God.
That's exactly how you sound.
Totally took it the wrong way, you guys. Okay, well, it wasn't supposed to be meant like that.
I know.
At the end of the day, I feel like if someone is using their disability to make money, because he really that's what he does. He doesn't allow people to make him feel bad about his disability. He used that and he fought against it, and now he's making money off of it. Honestly, that's just how I feel about it. But like, I mean, as far as making a whole song about that part though, kind of it threw me off for a second.
What y'all talking about?
Huh?
What y'all talking about?
Oh, go ahead, Sean. Tell her.
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I was talking about Saucy Santana and Rolling Rays. They have a beef right now. And Saucy Santana came out with a whole song as a diss track to Rolling Ray. Now Rolling Ray is in a wheelchair. So Saucy Santana made a song about him Let Me See You Walk. Yeah. So I just didn't think that it should have been taken that far as like between them two. I feel like if they're gonna beef and do that little thing, I feel like they should have squashed it honestly as two friends. Because
but these babies don't know how to do that.
Yeah, now it's just about. So now he's going to use that song and make money off of it now,
and it's going to get ugly.
As it should.
Yep. As it should.
As it should.
Just being honest. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna go on record by saying I've never really been a big fan of Saucy Santana. I don't like none of that music. I don't like none of that. I don't like none of it. I don't like any of it at all. I can't stand it. Material Girls. I don't like none of that.
Because they're rolling right that song. Let me see the back of your head.
And
my God!
What pisses me off the most about it is that people are allowed to be authentically them, and I love that. But what pisses me off about it is that he still rise into that box of why the females cut up the way they cut up when they see a gay person on the street and start doing those snaps, start being our extra and things like that. Like that's because the Saucy Santanas are in the media, and that's what they see, and that's what they and I think it just perpetuates that. However, I cannot fight a person for being authentically them. If that's his authentic self, then that's authentic self, things like that. But I just hate that all of that is added to it, and then we're going back and forth with the beef stuff, and you doing all this reckless stuff and saying all these, it's a mess.
It is.
These babies out here doing a lot.
I would agree. So now we'll go ahead and bust it down with this next one. Now this one right here really intrigued me when I found this out because it kept coming across my timeline on Twitter, on Facebook, and actually on Instagram as well. If y'all have not heard, Drake was set to release a candle that smells just like him. Okay,
for $80.
This some Erykah Badu shit.
It is
right.
It's supposed to be a smooth musk fragrance.
Ooh.
Okay. That's supposed to smell just like him, okay?
That's gross.
I want it.
I don't like
musky. I don't. Why would you want to? I feel like that's just like. Why would you want a candle? What do you naturally smell like without cologne?
Right.
If y'all want to,
and is that something I want to get into?
Give me that. Simple.
First thing first, I'm not paying no $80 for no candle. That's one.
Especially one that smells like ass. No.
But y'all gonna buy. But the world is literally selling Erykah Badu candles and fragrance out that smell like her pussy.
Yeah, but that's I'm not buying that either.
I don't agree with that crazy shit either. No.
But I don't think that's. I don't think that's her natural scent.
She said that. I promise you, she said that.
You remember on the first season of Love and Hip Hop when Mama Jones was selling Poom Kash? It was perfume that's supposed to smell like her poom poom.
What?
Yes, I remember that. You keep your poom poom closed, you don't get no money. We open a poom poom, you get the money. So Poom Kash.
What type of Estrange type shit is that?
I mean,
the worst.
We doing scented candles that smell like ourselves now.
What the boomerang?
And people are gonna buy it because there's people that's obsessed with it.
So if y'all didn't laugh at what I just said, y'all just told y'all age. It's simple as that. The only person that laughed was Patrice.
I ain't
Um,
know what you said.
I said, what type of Estrange shit is this? What the boomerang?
You know
That
I'm
used to
12
be
years
my
old. Quit
favorite
playing with
shit.
me.
uh,
That used to be my favorite shit.
favorite.
No,
What?
my goodness.
Give it to me. You are not gay. My
Right.
brother is gay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't mind buying it because I do like a nice musk smell. Um, and so it's a Christmas present for me. If he decides to come out with it, I wouldn't mind
Oh
smelling
God.
it. And it takes my beat. I'm kind of curious on how they're going to mass produce this candle, but whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's a weird one to me. But I would definitely purchase it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm a no on that. I don't
It's
want.
a
I
no
don't.
for me.
It's
Yeah.
a no for
It-
y'all.
It's
No.
definitely a no for
Bryce,
me.
please.
No, I'm gonna stick to my 4 for $25 candles from Bath and Body Works.
Real floral about it. Smell. Give me cotton candy, sweet pea, new
Ain't nobody playing
laundry.
with y'all. No. No.
Ain't nothing worse. Oh, shut up, Bryce. Shut up, Bryce.
All right,
No,
y'all.
ain't
And
nothing worse than when you pull down a man's pants and then that smell hits you.
Not
It's
Right,
Egypt,
like,
Johnny.
not Egyptian musk, not the Drake musk.
Exactly, baby. You tell
oh
her.
my goodness. So
uh,
listen, I'm gonna bust y'all
hey,
down with the last one real
hey,
quick. Okay, hey everybody. But the last one did anybody get a chance to tune in and watch the Soul Train Awards with Monica and Brandy and Jasmine Sullivan and all them on there? Did anybody get a chance to watch it?
No. No.
So there were performances by Brandy and Jasmine. Jasmine released her video to Pick Up Your Feelings, and well, I think she mixed in another song too that she did at the beginning of it. However, going back to talk about one of the performances, because I'm a real big fan of Brandy. And me and one of my friends, we were talking and having a discussion about this performance. We watched it, and I didn't notice something that I usually pay attention because I'm always giving her credit. I'm always just talking like, oh, she can really sing, it's my girl, and she can sing. Don't get me wrong, but what I noticed was the song was really playing the song was playing by itself, and she really was
Okay.
just ad-libbing in the back.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of disappointed me because I really was going up for her one day and really was like, Brandy be singing and she did that, and then I was really listening. And I'm like, oh, you
You
right.
make me sick, man.
You really right. Like she really just ad libbing and singing in the back.
mm-hmm.
That's
Like
what she do.
but we have allowed that bullshit, and I ain't saying it's
Right.
bullshit because I'm not saying it's bullshit because what we can say is that Brandy understands music, right? And
She does.
now I would never take it away from her. She can harmonize her ass off, but because we went up for that so much, so long, all she does is harmonize with her track now. She's not even singing no more. So
It's not live. Like
I mean,
Not, I don't think she sounds good live anymore.
she's ad libbing live, but she just harmonizing. I think that she has relied. Reason why Patrice, I don't think she sounds good live anymore to me is because I think that all she is doing is it's too many emphasis on the harmonizing. Girl, I just want to hear you sing. You like you are. That's all you giving us. That's all you giving us. That's all.
Oh.
did y'all get a chance to even see it?
I
Mm-mm.
did. I seen
When
the
you get
performances.
when you get a chance, when you get a chance, please go watch it. Type in Brandy Soul Train, and you can watch Monica performance in there. And Monica even drained me. Like I just was not impressed by her performance at all. Like and I love them to pieces, but I just felt like the performance was really dope. Jasmine really gave it to me because her video was really like a video. Like it wasn't really like just a regular performance. But we already know she can sing live.
Yeah.
So
I have one more hot topic before we move on because I'm not gonna not mention this. How you doing? You right, Bryce? It's
yes,
you.
yes.
So what came across my desk today is that Wendy Williams has a biopic coming out.
Yep.
That airs on January the 30th.
Yep.
On Lifetime. If you don't know, now you know. I will
Stop
be in
it.
I'm probably gonna do a whole premiere party at my house. Because that is how much I love that woman. I love Wendy Williams. That is my auntie. That is just everything. So, there was a sneak peek.
It's a no for me.
No,
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm definitely watching it. Look,
I
but
love when she runs to the chair and her titties bounce. She's like, "Let's go to a hot topic." She be like,
they don't bounce, but it's okay.
Right. I'm like, they don't bounce.
I am appalled. Oh my goodness.
But that is my favorite woman in the whole entire world.
But what are they gonna
I
talk
mean, that's
about?
cool. I mean,
Huh?
everybody
What are
got
they gonna talk
something.
about?
her career.
So yeah, her career. Based on the trailer, they talk about her drug abuse issues, her husband, her transition from radio to TV. So it's a 2 hour special. So it's a 2 hour documentary, and then her movie is 2 hours. So it's gonna be a 4 hour thing. So I may even
2 hours.
it's actually 4 hours. So it's a
Four?
2 hour documentary, and then right after the documentary, it's a 2 hour movie. So I may do a whole set at my house for 4 hours, and we just watch the whole thing all through.
It can't be that serious.
It's definitely that. It's Wendy Williams. Like, she is pop culture.
She's part of pop culture, but I want to say she is.
Oh my God, Bryce! If you look up pop culture, if Wendy Williams don't pop up, slap me.
I was raised on pop culture. Like,
We can do that. What, you want me to Google it right now?
okay.
You know what? What the view would say? Wendy Williams pop culture or not? It's y'all do it.
Nah.
She's part, but she's not the pop culture.
4 hours too much. They dragging it. I'm about to go.
Too much.
I'm about to go.
Dragging the boot.
Y'all,
Too much.
I don't got
doing
nobody on my
both.
side. Where are my Wendy Williams people at? Because these people are not feeling it.
Go run around somewhere talk about how you doing.
I love that woman though. That is my favorite woman in the whole entire
She
world.
kills me when she be like, "The streets been talking." No, baby, you've been talking.
She ain't making it up. She getting information from somewhere.
She's like, "Cause the streets been talking," and her audience be like,
I really want to hear her say why she left radio. I wonder if she gonna tell people it's because she got death threats.
I mean, but she have said that on her show a couple of times.
"Mm-hmm."
And she mentioned that she said she can't fight, and that Toto was waiting at her door to beat her ass.
And Angie Martinez from Hot 97 beat her up.
Yeah, she said that. So
yeah, she did that little thing with Aaliyah dying. Oh, they was over.
She had to
They
go to
came
Philly.
for that ass.
She had to go to Philly after that. Wow.
They came for that ass. They was like, "Oh, word. That's what you want to do? Sounds of a plane crashing? Bet."
So
that bitch is messy for no reason.
We are now going to talk about our main topic today.
Come on.
But before we go to our main topic, let's have a nice little commercial ad from our sponsors.
Hi, my name is Patrice Marsh, and I am the PrEP counselor here at RAIN. PrEP stands for Pre-Exposure Prophylaxis. PrEP has been shown to be safe and effective to keep people who are negative from acquiring the HIV infection. You can kind of think of PrEP as birth control against HIV. Here at RAIN, our PrEP program addresses the social and financial barriers to accessing the medication. RAIN's PrEP program also assists with barriers to medical care, as well as transportation, mental health, substance abuse, and any other needs. To learn more and to see if you would qualify for our program, please check out our website, carolinerain.org/PrEP. You guys have a great day.
Yes, Trees.
Get on PrEP.
Get on PrEP.
Get on PrEP.
It's the PrEP.
Okay.
Take it every day.
So today's topic is church and sex in the South.
Let's talk about it.
Let me go get my Bible, King James.
You who?
Let me go get my Bible, King James Version.
You want me to get mine too? I think I got one for every one. And I got a Quran.
Lord.
All
Those are
right.
interesting books to read. I
I
mean,
I I love a good I love a good. I had a conversation one day years and years ago. I was talking about how um I was questioning my faith and things like that and whatever. And the pastor said to me, and he was like one of those he was like what you call him. So for lack of better terms, I'm gonna say a rogue pastor, but I know it's something different. I don't get me but he wasn't
A
he
traveling
wasn't
pastor?
preaching. He wasn't preaching anymore. He just had held the title at a church a couple of times before, but he wasn't actively preaching or part of a church anymore. But so I was talking, I have known him for like maybe 3 years and never knew that he was a pastor. Ever, 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 ever. Showed me his church and everything, so and whatever like that. But I never know he was a pastor. And because he chopped it up like with us all the time. He always chopped it up and things like that. He wasn't like overly chopping it up where he's cussing and acting us, but he chopped it up with us like really, really hard. So I never would have, whatever, whatever. Not saying that people are pastors ain't real people, but he was a real person. So, I don't know how the conversation came up. Authentic, and I'm questioning my faith and my sexuality and what it could be and all of that kind of goes into plain conversation. And I was saying I just don't believe in the Bible, in its entirety. And this pastor said to me, I think you should think of the Bible as a love story. And I said, what do you mean by that? He was like, because it's a good book.
right.
And he was like,
It's a great
um,
story.
he was like, it's a guide, it's a book. However, it so many people have different hands in interpretation of it. Um, and I can't sit and tell you how you interpret it. I just before you say that you don't believe in it or you don't this, you don't that, read it for yourself because I can honestly tell that you have not read it. You just saying it based off what you
What
think
you've been told.
from what you've been told or experience that you've experienced from other people. It has nothing to do with that book. So that was one of the things that he told me what I thought was interesting. That he described it as a love story, and not it being something. You know how like another somebody else would say it's it's your sword and A, B, and C and all types of stuff. So I love that. But
That's a
carry on.
lifetime movie love story, John. Mm-mm.
Not like don't we gonna give it more than Lifetime. We're gonna send it to the movies. Let's send it to the
No, I just mean if you
agency.
said it's a love story, I was like, oh, well,
Uh,
that's a different kind of love.
So where we at today?
Church and sex in the South. Mm.
in the South.
How you doing? What? Look, Mabel, leave me alone. Don't do this right now. This ain't the time. Okay, so there are a lot of different things when you look at that people think of when you think about church in the South versus church everywhere else. Because here, church is part of a Southerner's identity, all that kind of good stuff. So I've always been very curious about the dynamic of Black churches, actually any church, and LGBTQ communities. It has always been fascinating to me. Um, and I talked to a couple of my coworkers yesterday, and I got some very insightful information. So we're going to just talk about it and weed our way through the madness. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the problem with sex is.
The problem with who?
Sex is. So the problem with sex from a church view is what?
That it's not something you should do for pleasure. It's something that you really do for reproduction purposes.
Yep. That is the Baptist definition.
Hmm.
Every church sect has their own thing, but it basically all comes down to a man and a wife are given to God as a unit, as an entity, and to have sex before that is
Mine sounds
disgraceful
so
to
funny.
God or some other weird shit. Huh? What you say, Sean?
I can't like you sound really funny. I can't really hear you, but I can
Can you
make
hear me
out
now?
with it. I
Can
can
you hear
make
me
out with
now?
it. What you're saying?
Oh no.
There
Can
you go.
everybody not hear me?
There you go.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think the problem with sex in the church is, Sean?
Um, how I was basically like brought up in church, like you not supposed to like a man and a woman is not supposed to have sex until married. You're supposed to be saving yourself for that special person. Um, also that you know, I mean, we get into another whole topic. Well, no, you said sex, so I keep it on that part. But no, because I was about to take it somewhere else. But yeah, basically, sex was basically forbidden. You wasn't supposed to have sex at all until you were married, and when you were married, and I mean, you basically you can have your way. That's what it seemed like to me. That's basically how I took it with your wife or whomever. Like
That's why a lot of people I know got married so they could have sex.
sex.
But see, that's the thing with my church is like, even though you were supposed to wait till you're married, you still can't have it your way. They told us like they were supposed to do it. A husband and wife was to do it 4 times a week in one position, missionary, and that's it.
Never heard that in my church.
And I was like, huh? And I looked at the youth pastor and I was like, damn. Well.
Why?
You got a position and how many
Why
times?
are they telling the babies how to have sex? That's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
That's
So
way
when
too much.
Sean said have it your way, I was like, wait, hold on, wait. I can have it my
Right.
way.
Hold on. What?
Like it's
Yeah.
that's when you get married, whatever you husband, wife, you can go do your thing. Have it your way. That's why I was like, they start having all these kids
It's
and
for
these
you.
babies, they don't put no condom on because they're like, we married. I don't have to wear a condom now because we're in a committed relationship and we got a ring and a piece of paper and it's legal now. So let's just go have sex. Oh, there go baby number one. Let's keep having sex. Oh, there goes another. This is like, I'm married and it's okay.
Birth control is free
Hello?
in a variety of forms, however you want it.
But that's the thing is there's a lot of women who are like that who wait till married to have sex and then they end up having all these kids and they end up getting on birth control on a sneak tip because they don't want to have any more kids.
Oh yeah,
And
a
then the
lot of
husband's looking at
the
them like, why aren't you having any more babies? She's just like, oh, I don't know, bitch.
a
I don't
lot
want
of
to have any more kids.
the people that protest at the abortion clinics, they're Mennonites. So they have like all the women and the girls in the long dresses and the hats and the little boys running around, and they're not supposed to use birth control. And believe it, some of those women have been in that clinic because they don't want to have any more kids.
They don't have no more kids.
I know Mormon families that have had 13 and 14 siblings.
Wow.
And they were like, the mom was like 55 when she had the last one, I think.
Oh, she carried.
Oh no, baby, one and done.
Mom carried.
One and done.
They do not mind at all.
Johnny, what do you think the problem with sex is as it relates to church and religion?
I just think that a lot of times religion is not something that change with new information. I feel like religion was something that was the format, the pillars, the blueprint of it was brought in a time was came about in a time and place where we didn't know enough information about this about that, so we kind of made it up on as ourselves as we go of what we thought what we knew. And a lot of things now have changed. Science has changed and things like that, and because of the traditions that have been put in place and things like that, it's so hard for religion to kind of catch up to that. And so we are kind of torn in between tradition and what science and what society and what we actually what we look like today. And it's just hard to kind of mix the two. So I think that's what what the problem lies into, honestly and truly.
Okay. I can dig it. And yeah, you're right. We were all told to wait for that special somebody and love and honest and charity and whatever. Cool. But today we're talking about how the Black church treats the LGBTQ community. specifically.
Mhm.
Um.
So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say. This topic or this piece brings me to There is a show called Greenleaf,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
and I watched it. I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons, and I actually loved it and
Mhm.
whatever. But it reminded me of, I think that there was a um LGBT choir director,
Mhm.
Mhm.
right? And and this is something that I think I see in churches anyway. The LGBT is on the choir. LGBT people are on the choirs. They're directing the choirs. They are active members in the church, and they're kind of set, or they can only do that and things like that
Right.
because that's their
That's the only
lane.
space they
That's
have.
that's the only kind of space that they
Mhm.
have in it, and they take it,
Yeah, with the pastors.
very. I think that they take that to like they hold on to that because that's all they have. Like I've met people that are diehard. Like you cannot take them away from that. That is their life. Singing in those choirs, directing a choir, like that is something that fulfills them. But to be in a church and you are singing these songs and or directing a choir, and your pastor preaches a sermon about LGBT, or talk anti LGBT, or talking against your sexuality or your sexuality.
Homo
um
negativity. Yes.
yes, thank you for giving me a word. Homo negativity. To me, it gets weird. um it gets weird. And like, where do me and you stand? You're my pastor, you're my leader, I'm your sheep. And you just did a whole sermon about me, sitting in your congregation, or matter of fact, sitting in your pulpit, because I'm actually um back here with the choir behind you. Like, where do we fall into? Well, it's just it gets weird to me.
It's
Mhm.
very messy.
Yeah, I think
Agreed.
the homophobia as it relates to Black people and religion really starts from slavery because we really wasn't introduced to Christianity until that, and then also with the whole buck breaking situation, they would rape male slaves in front of other slaves to show their dominance and power over them. So now people see being gay as this state of feminizing Black men. But also, I do agree with Johnny. It's weird to be because people know you gay in church, like they know. But it's like you had to be this person, like, oh yeah, you gay, but we're not gonna talk about it. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna talk about it. People still gonna ask you, oh, where you gonna have a girlfriend? Where you gonna get? Where's your wife? And you just like, baby, don't.
Like, just move.
Yeah, like,
Like, come on
like
now. Like, we're not doing this right now.
this. Get out my face. And
Mhm.
it's weird to navigate because it's like you telling me that God loves me no matter what. Then you tell me everything that's wrong about me. But
Mhm.
God loves you, but it's wrong. But He loves you no matter what, and He's
Yeah.
gonna love you forever. But
But
don't
you're
do
going,
that.
but you're going to hell
But you're
because
going to
you're
hell if you do
gay.
that. But He loves you. What? It's like, what type of abusive relationship is this? What type of mentally abusive relationship is this?
Exactly.
So
um
it's exhausting.
But the other part to that, I would like to say is that it is so hard. I mean, so like I can. It's almost like a relationship, like you just said, honestly and truly. Like I can look at the flaws in the relationship, but my faith is more important to
Wait,
me.
wait, wait. We're gonna get to that in a minute. That's another piece. Don't
Okay,
Oh.
okay,
jumping the
okay.
gun, bruh.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's all
Um,
right. It's all right.
but
It's all right.
I was a part of a church, and I remember, and I was close with the minister, the first lady, the elders, the pastor's mother. It's a title. I don't remember right now. And me and her was like this. Me and the pastor's mom was like this. We go out to dinner together. We go out to eat together all the time. That was my heart and my soul. I love that woman. But every so often, she would say to me, I'm very, I was never in the closet about after 18. closet who? No, ma'am. I went to church with my
Okay.
long colored dreads, that going down my back. I was with her for all of that. I didn't care. But she would say to me periodically, Johnny, I'm praying for you a wife. Johnny, I'm praying for you about the, and she'll say all of this stuff. I'm like, okay. And I call her mother. Okay, mother. I hear you. Things like that. I accept it. Whatever. But it was so weird. It didn't affect our relationship, and that's one of the things that I liked about certain people that I came across in my faith is that I've had like my grandmother's a minister and her sister and things like that, and they all speak very hard on LGBT sexuality and things like that and whatever. But one of the things that I always found interesting and I had to like really like understand is that it ain't personal. And because my relationship with them has not been affected. It's still hugs and kisses. It's still nothing but love. There was one thing that when North Carolina agreed, or North Carolina, I think this was 2012. I want to say when gay marriage was legal, equality marriage was when they legalized gay marriage and whatever. And my aunt, who is a preacher's kid, she's really my cousin, but I'm from the South, so we kind of call her our aunt. She made this long Facebook status about LGBT and what the world is coming to, and like it was like very long and direct, and it was so weird. And of
It
course,
was passive aggressive, is what it was.
my cousins and stuff like that started commenting on it or called me and was like, "Did you see what so and so posted on Facebook? Blah, and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I seen it. That's what she does." And the next day, it was like, "Oh, hey, love, hey, Johnny," like that and whatever. And I had to separate, her belief and her faith from the person. So it's hard
Fuck
to do,
that.
but um,
Fuck all of that.
it is what it is.
Uh, Johnny, I'm gonna need you to select the next thing for me because I can't do it.
Okay. This
It's
one?
gonna be
That'll be
Martin
something
and
very hard
Malcolm.
to do, though, Johnny.
So I've always questioned why the black church now has what seems to be now such a problem with LGBTQ people in the church. Because if you look back at the people that black people look to the most for black churches and what it means to be a black preacher would be Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King didn't have a problem with gay people. One of his favorite guys was gay.
Bayard
He
Rustin.
wasn't going to call him out, and that's probably what he said. That's why he didn't want him to get hurt. That's why he wasn't in the front of everything. But he didn't have a problem with gay people. Had nothing. It's not a problem at all. But y'all are following in his path. But okay. Malcolm X also had no problem with gay people. Some people say he was bisexual. I have no dog in that fight.
They say he was a sex worker. He was turning tricks.
All of the above. So he was, and oddly enough, after he died, Betty Shabazz became a big supporter of LGBTQ rights, like a big supporter. And then you have Huey P. Newton, co-creator of all of our favorites groups, the Black Panthers. The motherfuckers that walked around with AK-47s shooting at the white people, saying, "Come get some." Huey did a speech on August the 15th in 1970 talking about how women's rights and gay rights also needed to be part of the Black Revolution. We all needed to come together to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the most radical Black people ever. And he was able to support gay rights. Where the fuck did it go wrong?
Child, I don't know, child. I can't answer that question. I really don't know.
I think what gets me is the fact that it's like the way that these churches have like displayed or taught or instilled and so many different people, different ways of going about homosexuality or sex in the church. Like, it's weird. Did you hear Bryce say that earlier about how they had a position
Mm-hmm.
and then like I said, from the way what I heard, growing up, that you're not supposed to have sex until you married and all this other stuff, and it basically you condemned if you gay, you going to hell, and homosexuality is forbidden. And now just to see how pastors are still treating, like, I watched a video of a pastor. He stopped service and told a trans girl that she had to leave, and if she was to return, that she had to be wearing male clothes because they were not going to accept that in their church, like literally in the middle of service, and said it on the microphone. And I'm like, it stuff like that will make you like. That's why certain people fall away from religion, and they fall away from certain beliefs and certain things because of the way that people treat them when it comes to this. When you've been taught something growing up, it's like, okay, I didn't think that if I'm born a certain way or I'm this type of person that I'm going to be treated differently growing up. Not only with that, but now the church has turned against me. But you told me to love thy neighbor.
Johnny, you could put up the one about negative. Is it helpful or negative about self? The thing. Yeah,
You have to think of the thing.
my brain. So, is the self hate inflicted onto young LGBTQs in the church more harmful than helpful?
Yes, of
Definitely,
course.
definitely, definitely.
It's like being a double agent all the time. You have to like live this double life, or you have to decide to say, F it, I'm gonna leave it, or I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna be myself and I'm just gonna put up with the abuse I receive. It's this annoying thing. It's like I told Lorenz, like, I had to come to the point where I was like, okay, God, I went to you and I told you to take it away. You didn't. So obviously it is what it is. And it's just, you just get to that. I can't say you get, I got to that point. It's just like, I'm not an atheist, but also like, I don't 100% believe in interpretation of the Bible. And I also don't believe in man's interpretation of God. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't believe that one person can tell me about how God is or how God works. And you're doing the same things I'm doing, or worse things, but I'm supposed to follow and listen to you. So, it's just,
No sin is greater than the next.
yeah, it's just this exhausting thing. Like, I'm going to hell for being gay, but aren't you going to hell for rape? Like, oh, you can repent for that. You can say, God, I'm sorry I did that, but I can't tell God I'm sorry for who I am. Mm, I'm just over it.
Johnny?
um, I'm conflicted with with this because I'm conflicted. I'm so conflicted because my thing is my grandmother always told me that, this is one thing that stayed with me forever, is what do you have to lose in believing in something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and that's the only things for me that kind of clicked to me, like, what do I have to lose if I believe in something and
Mm-hmm.
something is not, and it's not real. I'm not losing anything, or if I don't believe in something and something is, like, I don't know, for me it clicked for me. But um the self-hate inflicted in the LGBT in the church, like, I don't know. I'm gonna put it to you like this. It definitely adds um more toughness to the LGBT community.
Oh, boy. I
Yeah,
mean, I
That's
like a
where we're
good.
going.
that's exactly where we're gonna go.
I mean, I like a nice Kojic boy every now and then, but still,
Oh,
it's just nice
a nice what?
Kojic boy.
I mean, I don't think I'll follow you.
But it's
What's that?
just every now and then.
What is that?
Exhausting.
It's exhausting because I do believe in God. but also it's just like I said, like this emotional abusive relationship going to a church because you like I find a church that I like, and it starts off real good, it starts off nice, sweet, and then we just get to that part about LGBT people, and then it gets weird. Or it's like I feel like what I was trying to say. I feel like a lot of people are Christians because they believe that there is a hell, and they're scared to say that they don't believe because they're scared that they may go to hell. It's not even actually about being Christian for them. Actually loving people, loving God, because they're really not good people. They're just performing to Christians because how could you say you love everybody but you don't? And then you turn around and you're supposed to be this God-fearing person, but you're the most disrespectful person, and then on top of that, you're always talking about somebody, putting somebody down. How does that work? I learned shade from old church ladies. Like, what you mean? It's crazy.
It's that, and it's like some of the posts that like Johnny are posting right now with the comments. Like I totally agree. Like that's the stuff I heard in church. Come as you are, and be yourself, and God loves you. He knows you. He knows your heart. He knows what you're going to say before you even say it because He's the one who's created you. So it's like hearing that it's just very conflicting to just be told one thing and you're reading it and you're trying to process it as a young child. You don't really know the Bible like that, so because you don't really know what you're reading because you're trying to comprehend it, but you just basically going off what somebody else telling you or what you're reading on the screen. So you're trying to interpret and make it out for yourself, unless you choose to self-educate and actually read the whole Bible, which I have not read the whole Bible. I have not.
It's a good read.
You should already.
And I didn't understand it. I'm just going to be honest. I'm one of those, if I don't understand what I'm reading, I'm not going to continue reading. I have to ask questions. And if I ask questions to someone who thinks they know,
you get an interpretation.
And then they try to give me an answer, I'm a little conflicted because I now heard this in church and you telling me this. So what is...
Yeah.
That's why you gotta read it for yourself. Whoa. And you have to unlearn everything you learned and just start reading it for yourself, honestly and truthfully.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's possible.
It's fun though. It's a great book.
I like to my life, one of my like a long time ago, back when I was a dancer, my life goal was to create a production, almost like a ballet, but it was more of a production of all dances included, and make the Bible a dance or a production. And then my legacy would have been like, so say for like the 4 dance, almost like what Alvin Ailey did. The 4 dance is probably like maybe 8 hours long. That's the full production. But my legacy, if you wanted to do like a portion of it, you can do like the book of Genesis, like and you can perform that as your rendition of it. So it was like you can pick out different books of it and perform it or recreate it. That was one of the things that I wanted to do back when I was really, really into dance and wanted to create something, to create a masterpiece and have a legacy to leave behind. Like Alvin Ailey. But
yes.
I love Alvin Ailey. Alvin Ailey. Pick one of the whatever's left, Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah. Is there a positive space for LGBTQ people in the Black church, and what would that look like or entail?
So we do know there are a couple of churches here that I hate to say LGBT friendly, because honestly and truly, that's not enough. And because the LGBT friendly church doesn't necessarily mean that I'm still welcome. I'm able to walk in and sit down and not have to hear the bullshit. But there are some churches that are being led by LGBT pastors, things like that, progressive pastors and things like that. And sometimes that ain't for everybody either. And it just being honest, and things like that. And But I do think we're going to have to create our own spaces. I don't think that there's going to ever be a space for us in the black church, not unless they start accepting these new gospels that have been coming out and saying different things and questioning the things that they've already got and put down as law. If they're unable to do that, they will be unable to fully accept the LGBT community inside of their spaces. Like if you can't change what what we are known, what we are finding out, we're still finding out about religion. Like we're still finding different and new things out every single day, every
Because there's a
single
lot of
year.
lies.
There's a lot of there's a lot of different gospels that have came out that the church would not accept. But it should have been included in the original, but we just didn't find it in time enough. You
They
know,
were
so
in the original. They got taken out.
taken out and things like that, right? So I mean, until they are able to do that and accept those things, I don't think that we would ever be accepted or have a safe space inside of the church space because it'd be considered taboo, just like the lost gospels.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that gospel singer who got caught kissing his boyfriend on his Insta story? It was on a close friends, and somebody exposed it, and then
Yes,
he ended up having to disable all his social media because it was bullying him really bad.
but he ended up coming out.
Yeah, he did, but
He ended up
He
making a
didn't have a
post about it.
choice.
He didn't have a choice, and he didn't have a choice. Yeah, but I mean, hey, you know,
It baffles me the whole faking to be somebody just to appease people in the church. Like I'm not gonna fake and try to be straight. I'll be a heterosexual male and marry a woman and try to prove a point about. I'm not doing that for nobody. Like I already know who I am. If you can't accept me for me, if I can't come in church and enjoy myself and listen to the word and receive what you're saying and understand what you're saying, we really don't have no space. We don't need to be around each other. I don't think that's gonna be a good. That's not gonna be a combination.
Yeah, for me, she would have to be a real masculine woman. Yeah. But did y'all see on Twitter when they asked Kurt Franklin if he was a top or bottom? Man. He said, "Young man, this is what came out of your heart to ask me." And then I quoted that, but you didn't answer the question.
Right, she about to make me throw my phone.
I want to know.
Okay, I'm about
to throw my phone.
Answer the question.
I'm about to throw my phone.
So Kurt Franklin blocked me. But anyway.
Kurt Franklin should have blocked your ass.
I'm weak. I'm so weak.
You would not disrespect that black king. Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Somebody else asked it, and he didn't answer the question, and I said you didn't answer the question.
Oh, you know what, Bryce? That made me think. But it was a situation where, with what's her name? It's a gospel singer that she linked up with Nicki Minaj to do a song, and even the people in the people that was in the church were making a big deal about it. Like, why would she do that? Why would she link with Nicki Minaj? She's a rapper, and it's like, but then you preach in the church, you need to be bringing people to God and bringing them to church and uplifting them and feeding them the word. And so you get somebody who actually Nicki, she believes in God, she prays and she says stuff like this. She talks about it. So what is the issue with a person that's out rapping circular music, as they call it, or linking up with someone who's in the gospel industry? That really blew me too. Like I didn't.
Yes, because Nicki out there doing that devil music.
That hypocrisy, it blows me.
You want to know something though? Here's the thing, and I think that a lot of people don't understand that saying, bring people to the church and things like that, or going on things like that, because don't bring me to the church with an agenda. Right. Because I think that's where you're gonna fall short at. Because I feel like, bring me, if you're gonna give me a word, I appreciate that, but don't try to give me a word to change who I am. That's not. No. You're hurting you're hurting more than you are helping the situation, or your goal or your cause and things like that. So yeah.
But try being somebody in the South that don't go to church and people find out about it. You want to come to my church? You will really like it. My church is like, they treat everybody and da. And then you got some people who go to churches and they think it's a fucking football team. The Park, what, bitch?
No.
The what?
Okay.
And me from New York. You want to go to my church? Yeah.
I'll go to somebody's church. If I get invited, I definitely go. I'm gonna tell you something. I I go. I definitely will.
Not this time I'm gonna pull up.
I'll pull
Johnny,
up.
Johnny, I'm with you. I will try somebody's church out. I will.
I
do that.
will.
I
I will now. I truly
Where's
will. I'll
that?
pull right on up.
It's
And,
on
and
what?
I,
Or I
I'm
can
sorry,
go
y'all. Her
past
name was
it.
Tasha Cobbs. I apologize. Tasha Cobbs featuring Nicki Minaj.
And I put and now that I'm comfortable with who I am, I pull up at somebody's church to sit down and they what you call it and be like,
You know what I don't like? When the ushers try to make me sit to the front. I don't want to sit in the front. I want to sit in the back.
Right. Was
how
I
you
having to
doing,
fall
sister?
asleep? I don't need to be the pastor to make me
Yes.
fall
Because I
asleep.
got my
I just
hat
doze
on
off in
and
the
I'm not
corner a
trying to
little
block
bit.
the people.
How you
I
doing,
came with my
sister?
hat and my shade.
How your mom in there?
It's a blessed day in the
Look,
Lord. How you doing?
Yes.
preach, pastor, preach. Yes.
They're gonna be like, baby, where you from?
I know y'all. I know y'all ready to leave church. I know y'all ready to get out of here. Like, go ahead, Pastor. Keep it. Like,
Yo, when the pastor get finished preaching and then your mom talking to her friends, you trying to go home and she just
mad.
Yeah, that was that.
I'm just trying to go to the J&W cafeteria and get my food.
Okay.
So, to bring this to a nice little closing or a nice little cone. Patrice, go ahead.
So maybe everybody may not know. I was raised in a church, great church, learned a lot, very valuable knowledge. To get out and find out it was a cult, it's cool. I was okay with it. But I am now a very devout atheist. And really, I am that way because I started doing the research for myself and the shit didn't add up. So it has always, especially watching my sister growing up, she has always been so religious and so believing in something that I could never understand why when they treat you like this. So it's always been a curious question for me. So to talk to people like my coworkers in the office, and I read a couple of things that actually made sense, the sense of community and it being part of your family thing. And so that's kind of why I wanted to have this discussion and see how other people felt because it's always been something that's really curious to me. When I was growing up and started coming out to the club, they used to call them church sissies. And these were the people that were always the music and the choir and all that kind of stuff.
Church queens.
We call them church queens now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got the stunt queens, church queens.
Yeah,
yes,
church queens.
Blessed is the Lord. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. This subject, I really wanted to hear what y'all had to say about it.
And it's a very nice subject, and I think that one of the things that every time I think about this conversation or this particular subject, because we do talk about it in the office quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but every now and then it kind of comes up in conversation. And like one of the things that my grandmother told me, and I just want to share it with all of you all, is that it is okay to question your faith. It is okay to go out and, like Patrice did, go out and actually do your own research, things like that. It is 100% okay with that. She said, because how can you wholeheartedly believe in something and don't know that everything else is out there? You're cheating yourself. So it is okay to question it. It is okay to go and do the research, and it is okay if it sends you somewhere. It sends you somewhere. If it bring you back home and give you a better, broader foundation, then that's what it gives you. But do that. It's okay. To do that. To all my young folks, you won't go to hell for doing it. You won't. You know what I'm saying? You like do it. It is totally okay.
Repent.
Give me 12 Hail Marys, please.
So today we decided to do something different for Pieces Treases because we didn't get an entry because y'all didn't send in no entries this week. So I need y'all Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram,
How you doing?
all the Twitter, all of the people across the world to send in
Y'all don't want to talk to me?
send in
Okay.
some stories so we can read them and talk to you about your shit. We want to fix your life. We Ayana. We want to. Matter of fact, we want to help you do your work.
Okay.
There it is. There it is.
Who?
Oh shit.
There it is. So today we have a couple of questions that we're going to ask, and see where it goes. So pieces.
Teresa, you ready,
No,
Trees?
it's not pieces trees. It's peace trees.
We-
You ready,
Peace
Patrice?
trees.
Hi.
You
So let's
ready?
talk about it.
First
What you got for
question.
me today? I'm very excited.
Is it gay that I let my gay roommate suck my dick? I don't think it's gay because females do the same shit with girls but don't really be lesbian.
I mean, I agree. I feel like college and your 20s are a time to explore. Regardless of what you explore because your sexuality is who you are and who you identify as. Sex is simply an act between two people. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
identify you. It doesn't make you gay. It doesn't make you straight. It's just something you tried out. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
but
sometimes
why?
you feel like a threesome and sometimes you don't.
It's so hard to explain that to people that don't properly educate themselves. Like it's so hard. Like I just
Yeah.
don't understand. Like even when if I'm talking to a female who is straight
Mhm.
and she's asking me about a guy and like she's like, well, what makes a guy gay? I'm like, if he identifies himself as gay, that's what makes him gay. I mean, I may have sound mean saying that, but then she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, just because he may have had something, got oral sex from a guy, that does not classify him as a gay male. But you're gonna look at him that way because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing you know is because another man messed around messed around with another guy sexually, that automatically puts him in that whole stigma point of being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm. That happened on Insecure. Molly was dating a guy and they was having dinner. And she asked him, like, what's the wildest thing you did in college? And she told him what she did. And she said, okay, so what you did? He said, okay, one time I had sex with a guy. It's nothing too crazy. And from that point, she did not see him as a potential partner. Because she was just like, oh my God. You had
And I
sex with
never
me.
understand that. Like,
Like it's just crazy.
bisexual dudes are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is too, it's just like, and like one of the things that I hate that because it's like I shared with you something that you fucking asked me first and foremost,
Right.
and I shared it with you, and
In
y'all
confidence.
but not regardless, y'all are condemning these men for authentically being them, and y'all are putting them in the lane that they don't belong. We don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
If they ain't identifying as gay, don't put him in our category. Don't put him in our box. You see Patrice's
Mm-hmm.
over here and we over here. It's three of us over here and Patrice's over there. We don't want her.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. Like I don't.
That's
You
why I
can't.
hate when straight women say, I just want people to come out and be who they are. It's like you just want them to come out and be who they are so you can judge them and avoid them. You don't actually want
Right.
people to live in their truth. Just shut
Because
up.
that
You
man.
want them
Cause
to what?
They be like, I just want people just to live in their truth. It's like you don't want people to live in their truth. You
I'm
just
living
want
in.
people to
I'm a
come out
straight
so you can judge
male.
them.
I'm living in my truth. I'm straight. I
Mm-hmm.
just like to fuck from time to time. The
Period.
fuck?
Next
That's just like
question. Lord.
it's these movies that do that shit too. Like like the Tyler Perry movies.
Yep.
I'm calling you out.
You know
Um,
And
what?
old Oprah for putting the DL boys on the
yes,
show.
I'm
And y'all
calling you
still be
out.
watching. Y'all
We
still be
are
watching Tyler Perry.
perpetuating. We are even in our community. I'm going to call our community out. We're perpetuating that bullshit. We're
while
doing it too because
while we're talking about this too, it made me think about a question that was asked to me, Bryce, in a similar sense. It was a straight female, but she asked, she was like, "Does it make my boyfriend gay if he wants me to put my finger in his butt?"
No, no. Put your finger in his ass, bitch.
and you're a
I'm
woman and
in
you're
there.
doing
The
it.
fuck?
You're a woman. He's attracted to a
Put your
woman
finger.
to do it to him.
I would
That is
love that.
like, how's that gay?
Because
That's,
people are
I'm
closed minded because we were founded by Puritans.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
yeah, babe, put your finger in my
is
butt.
that was that close minded? Like
can,
seriously?
can we stop making gay a verb?
Okay.
It is not a
It's,
verb.
they try to make it like black.
It's not.
Adjective, verb, and noun.
But now,
That is no. Stop doing that.
what it is to be black, baby.
Hello.
Okay. Next
But
question.
Hey,
Is 5.5 inches way too small? I'm very insecure
man,
about
go
my shit.
ahead, bro. Go ahead, cuz.
So I actually dated a guy who was like around that 5.5, 6 inches joint, but he was actually one of the best fucks I've ever had
Me too.
because he
The
did
guy, he had
all
a
of the
I call it
extras,
stubby. He had a stubby,
all of
but
the
it was
extras,
good.
and he never needed any downtime. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Rashawn?
You know, I'm not really. I'm not gonna. I'm not a.
I'm not a size queen.
I'm not.
I
I'm
don't
not.
care.
I'm not. I'm really, really not. And honestly, thinking about it, how if I'm graphically thinking about, you said a 5.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can make it work. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We can make it work as long as you got a good stroke. You know, or you
Right.
know you know what else to
Mm-hmm.
use and what else to do alongside with that 5.5.
Okay.
We can make it a party.
We can make it a party. Don't be tardy to the party.
Don't be tardy to the party.
Okay.
You better go hand with that 5.5. I mean, you better go to pound town.
Lord. What about you,
Johnny?
Johnny?
first of all, I don't do if I'm gonna bottom, and I do consider myself as a verse top, whatever. So I do bottom from time to time. If I'm gonna bottom, I don't
Well,
do
why you
anything.
say whatever?
I don't do anything past 9 inches. Period. I don't like
Period.
big dicks. I don't like them. It's not attractive to me. I don't like it. I don't
Period.
like it. No.
Hey,
Matter of fact, 8.5. Honestly and truly, if you 9, you too big for me. I'm not doing it.
you trying to rip stuff?
You're
Yo,
not tearing my hole up.
this boy
No,
in college.
I'm not. You're not.
Trying to
I'm
fuck up
sorry.
the
No.
smaller.
So
Trying to
the
This boy
small,
fuck
in
up the
college.
colon.
the smaller, the better. No. Period. Because I show out.
Mm-mm.
I show out on small dick.
This boy in college, it was 8 inches long and the girth was like 4 inches. And I was like, where the fuck did you put in that? He said, in you. I said, nah.
No, you. Nope.
We're good.
Can I sign up for that?
I laid on
I
him in the
look.
bed and give him a good mouth, but
Rupture my
I couldn't,
colon.
no. I couldn't,
I almost called your husband name.
Okay.
I almost did it. 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 I almost did it.
Oh, that's funny.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no.
Size
She
doesn't
don't
matter to
run
me. I'm
from
not a
dick.
size
What you
queen.
got? Let's do it.
Somebody said the
Yeah.
smaller the better. Okay.
No.
Yes. I'm telling you, I will show out.
Don't get me wrong.
I will
When I
show
go to the
out.
strip club, I do want to see you hang down to your knees. But in
They
real
good.
life,
They good to look at and
in
pretty to
real
look
life,
at.
And that's it.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
would not happen. I'm not hopping. I would not. No. No.
I'm not going to be on bed
No.
rest. I'm sorry.
I'm an equal opportunity employer. 5 and up can get.
Lord.
They can get it.
Next
Crazy.
question.
I've yet to run into one where I'm like, no.
Yep.
At what point is it normal to start asking about body count,
Your
past
knee.
relationships, and etc.? During the talking
Say it.
stage,
Wait.
he said, "At what point is it normal to start asking about body count, past relationships, and etc.? Do you do it during the talking stage without sounding too nosy?"
You don't do it at all.
Why would you care?
Body count, I
So he can
wouldn't.
judge you.
Body count, I wouldn't care about. But like,
Duh.
your past relationship, wasn't that part of the question too? Like,
Yeah.
past relationship, I would kind of want to know. Like, I mean, what happened?
I do
Don't
too. I want to
care.
know what
I
happened in
don't
your
know
past
them.
relationship.
We not them.
Like,
Why?
shit, I'm just put myself on.
My last relationship, he told me why. He said because he cheated, and then that made me kind of be wary dating him because I'm like, damn, what if you cheating on me? But I was like, maybe he grew from that. I don't know.
But
Now
if
you
you
get
did,
into full
Traumatized. I don't need to
conversation
know what happened.
because
We
if you
fucking or
did,
not?
if you didn't know that information, like you still like what is your thought process after that? Like that's I don't get into that. That's almost what you're doing.
You know, we ain't never had that happen here recently. Like,
You know what?
Talk to me.
But
You know
see, the
what?
conversation, he asked me first. He said, what happened with your last relationship? I said, I beat him up. What happened with yours? He said, I cheated. I said, okay.
I get that. When was your last relationship?
Yeah, I can see when. I can see that. I will ask that. But you know how like when somebody asks you what happened, that's almost like somebody else tell you know how like you have that friend that tell you not to date that person because of A, B, and C.
Yes.
I feel like they give me that
Yes.
same vibe. Like
That's
I'm
right.
going off what I'm going. It's giving me that same vibe. So I wouldn't do that either.
But
But
if y'all dated somebody that was putting their hands on y'all, I wouldn't date them either. You know what I mean? Like,
But see, like when
they got
people
the
ask
best
women
sex.
that, it's
I
not
love
looked
toxic
at
sex.
that way. It
yeah.
is very much
You know it's toxic
how
when
pure are you? How many people have dirtied the cave? Okay.
you talking Bryce talking about somebody putting their hands on somebody. You know it's toxic when y'all break up and get back together, and you got to keep it a secret.
Gotta keep it.
That's so stupid.
You know it's toxic, baby. What? You can't post shit, bitch. That nothing.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's some toxic
That one took me
bullshit.
out today. That
Oh
took me
my
out.
god.
Body count is the dumbest thing ever. Like, it's just stupid.
I don't
I used to
care.
love it when guys would ask me that. Oh.
And then you hit
Okay.
them with when you hit them with a number, they gonna baby. You know
My
that trap
Oh,
I told you.
I'll just tell them after 50 I stopped counting. I don't know.
my
Okay.
shit start over every January. 0.
New record.
Ain't
I
no
don't
start over. I'm just gonna add. Just gonna
All
no.
add.
right. It's a lot of experience and I need you to understand that.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm about to go. Okay, I'm about to
This
go,
is
y'all.
a seasoned cast
I'm about to
iron.
go.
Okay, experience seasoned cast iron.
All right. So that's enough with peace trees.
Mm-hmm.
We cut up so bad. Y'all kidding.
So
I
we're gonna
love my
bring
outreach team.
this thing to a close. Um, we ain't did this in a while. Can we talk about you?
Oh, what's up, everybody? Oh my god, he put the camera on me real quick, but y'all already know I love the cameras. It's your boy Sean, your peer outreach specialist here with Rain and with Crew. Of course, Crew stands for Community Resource Empowerment and Wellness. We provide services such as peer support, group counseling, peer counseling, individual counseling, and we also do free HIV testing and Hep C testing. Our HIV testing is rapid. You will get your test results back within like 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how the test works. Also, if you know anyone that needs services or that are like having issues with mental health or mental health wellness, please send them over my way. I definitely have some services for them that are free. If they come over, just make sure you call the number below, or they can email me and I'll provide that later as well.
I hate you so much.
Oh, hey, back up, social distance. Put your mask on. Hi, I'm Rice. I'm the parent assistant specialist at Rain. I specialize in getting those who've been out of care for 6 months or longer and getting them re-engaged in care. I case managed for a year. I also perform rapid HIV and Hep C testing. So if you want to get your little finger prick, whatever, ain't nothing too crazy. You're gonna get your results back in 30 to 60 seconds, like what Sean said, and we're gonna get you right, okay? So call my number. Thank you.
You knew.
Oh, that's
You know what?
awesome.
It's funny because I know when Patrice knows when she's nervous.
Well, I thought that you was going to skip me since you set me up for the kill with that commercial earlier, but
I was,
okay.
I wanted to torture you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy December. It's 50 more days before we get the Cheeto out of office.
Period.
Yay. You know what I do. I'm the PrEP case manager, local atheist, and I'm here for the culture. If Black Lives Matter, then why the fuck are you not? Okay?
Okay.
And I'm Johnny. I actually wanted to put this up for our research coordinator, Jesse.
Jesse!
Jesse.
He is our research coordinator and have a couple of researchers that are greenlit and are ready to go. So if you want to know more about this research projects and want to know how you can earn some money, please go to
Free.
for free. Please go to our website at www.carolinarain.org/research. And you'll be able to kind of get screened for some of those. Sometimes you may qualify. So please go see if you qualify and be enrolled in those studies and make some money. So again, that's www.carolinarain.org/research. Okay.
Period.
Whoop, whoop.
That or dot.
And uh before I let you go, I just got one thing to say.
Oh my word.
To know. To know me is to know me. I just put my hair behind my ear. Bryce, fix your bang. Thank you.
Getting tested is sexy.
That's on period.